Hi, I'm Alicia and welcome to my channel Papercraft Secrets. Today I'm sharing a class and a kit for a set of 10 Christmas cards featuring Mintay's new collection, Time of Wonders. This set of 10 cards is perfect for posting. They are very flat in design with minimal embellishments, so they will fit into a standard envelope. You can purchase this kit from my website at www.papercraftsecrets.com.au and create along with this tutorial at home. So let's get started. Inside your kit, you'll receive the 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper set by Mintay Papers called Time of Wonders. It's a beautiful collection. The colour scheme is in the traditional Christmas colours of red, green and gold, but there are much more muted vintage colour schemes, so it adds that real sort of elegant, on-trend sort of appeal to these papers, and lots of poinsettias which are beautiful at Christmas time. So I'm just flicking through the papers here quickly to just give you a little bit of an idea. In case you haven't seen these papers before, this is the page that we'll be cutting up for our cards. You'll cut both pages of this. So one side will be the frames. You'll cut a whole page of 12 frames. The other side will be the little pictures. So you'll fussy cut all of those little pictures out first. And that will be your first job when you get your kit. So grab a cup of tea, watch TV, sit somewhere comfy while you're cutting those out and just relax and enjoy it. You'll also need the fussy cutting on the back of the front cover. So that's the page for the pictures and the frames on the back. Inside the kit, you'll also receive a packet of 10 Kaisercraft cards and envelopes. And this is what we'll be making our cards from today. So we're going to choose some papers that we'll use for our cards. So if we have a little flick through, I'm going to choose a few different papers here. Got these ones here. You can see the lovely rich colours in these papers. Now, just because I've chosen these papers doesn't mean that you have to choose exactly the same. If you would prefer to choose a different page, please, by all means, choose the paper that you love the most. There's no right or wrong way with choosing our papers. We're going to start with our paper trimmer and we're going to do some cutting first. We're going to cut at 6 inches. And this will fit nicely on our Kaisercraft note cards with a white border around the edge. So I've cut two 6 by 12 inch rectangles out of this beautiful, rich, mahogany sort of colored paper that I love this paper. It's just so elegant. On our cards, I'm working from a sketch. We've basically got two rectangles on the front of our card. So our first rectangle is going to be 6 inches by 3 inches. So we're going to cut some 3-inch strips along here. I'm going to take a different page now, this beautiful golden page. I'm going to cut it at 6 inches. And then I'm going to cut this one at 6 inches as well. Put one to the side. I'm going to cut this at 3 inches and 3 inches. and 3 inches and 3 inches. So now we've got 8 pieces of those rectangles, measuring 6 by 3 inches. We will be needing 10 though, because we're making 10 cards. So I'm going to take the green page, cut it at 6 inches, cut it at 6 inches. I'm going to take one of these strips and put it to the side. I'm going to take the other strip and I'm going to cut 2 3-inch rectangles. So that will give me 10 6 by 3 inch rectangles, and they will sit on one side of the card, and on the other side we're going to have a 2-inch strip. Okay, we're going to cut some of those now. So we can just use these other little strips here that we've got to cut our 2-inch strips. 3 from that one, and some out of the gold. There we go. So now we should have 10 6 by 2-inch strips and 10 6 by 3-inch strips for the base of our card. Okay, our next step is we're going to cut some paper for the inside of our card, and this is going to be a 6 by 4 inch rectangle. So we'll cut it at 6 inches and cut it at 6 inches, and then we'll turn it to the side and cut at 4 inches. So I've chosen this lovely cream paper because it's going to be easy to write a message on over the top of the page. Don't want something that's going to be too busy. The other page that I'm going to use for the inside of my cards is this soft pink one, because it again is quite plain. Okay, so there we go. So we'll need 10 of those. And that'll be for the inside of our cards. So now that we've got that all organized and cut, we can start getting ready to paste these in. Now the glue that I'm using is Couture Creations Quick Dry Adhesive. I'm going to choose 2 rectangles, a 3-inch rectangle and a 2-inch rectangle to put on the front of each card. Then we'll have our little frame on top of that, and then we'll have our fussy cut image on top of that. Also in your kit you will receive 10 Merry Christmas wooden sentiments, which is the sentiments that we're going to be using on our cards for this kit. And we will actually be covering those in a gold Kindy Glitz for extra sparkle. So put those to the side for now, and we're going to focus on gluing all of these pieces together. Now just a little tip with your Kaisercraft note cards, always check which way they open before you start to glue. I've been caught many times because half of the pack faces one way and half of the pack faces the other. So I've often glued things upside down, not realizing that the card opens the wrong way. So just remember to check before you glue that your card is opening the right way. We're putting our 2-inch strip on first, and we're putting our 3-inch strip on second. So the overlap, you can see we've got the wider strip on top. So to create that look, glue your 2-inch strip on the right hand side of the card first, Then glue your 3-inch strip onto the left-hand side of the card second. And that gives you that effect that we're going for in this card set. Now, when you are gluing, you can choose either side of the papers. You might like to choose the busy side, or you might like to choose the plainer side, whatever suits you. Have a little bit of fun with the designing of the papers as to what you think matches nicely, what contrasts, and those sort of things. This is one of the enjoyable parts of creating this card, is choosing the papers that will be on each card. So I'm just checking what way they all open so I'm not going to get caught. Alright, so I'm just going to make my way through all of these cards now, deciding on what papers I think go nicely with each of the cards. And I'm gluing on my 2-inch rectangle first, and then my 3-inch rectangle on top. Beautiful papers that create beautiful cards. There we go. That's all of our card fronts done. Now I'm going to do the inside of each of the cards. I'm just popping that straight on the inside with the border all the way around so that every card has an insert to write on. And we're going to actually decorate those inserts at the end of the video. Okay, that's all done. Our next step is to use some gold lace. The gold lace comes in your kit. You need to measure your gold lace so that you have the correct measurement to glue onto each of the cards, which is 6 inches. So that's the measurement that you want to cut to. Maybe just a fraction over. So I'm just cutting all of mine first. And then I'm going to glue them all on. Chose to use glue to stick my lace down. And the way I did it was I ran a length of glue along the paper join, and then I patiently stuck the lace down. You have to wait a little bit for that glue to dry a fraction and grip onto the lace. You may prefer to use tape. Might be a little less messy. You do get a little bit of glue on your fingers doing it this way. So if you find it easier to use tape, please go ahead and use a double-sided tape to glue down your lace. There we go, that's the last card done now. So all of the cards have that lace on the paper join. The next step is to choose a frame for each card. Have your cards laid out in front of you, and then choose a fussy cut image for each card. You'll have 2 left over. We're going to have a sentiment on each of our cards as well. We're going to begin gluing on our elements, starting with the frame. I am not using any layering with cardboard or double-sided mounting tape or anything like that, because I want to keep these cards as flat as I can so that they'll fit in an envelope and be able to go in the post. If you are not going to be posting your cards, then by all means please add some more dimension onto them with cardboard or mounting tape. So I'm basically just gluing on the frame first, then I'm gluing on the fussy cut image second, and then I'm gluing on the sentiment. So it's a 3-step process happening at the moment. The frame, and then the image, and then the sentiment. So you can see how these cards can potentially be very quick and easy if you want to. You could stop right at this point now and send your cards at this point if you wanted to. And they would be beautiful. You don't have to go to great lengths of decorating a card. If you're running short on time, you can just take a few little shortcuts. I don't take any shortcuts with this set though. I actually keep decorating and keep decorating until I think I've decorated everything possible. There we go, all glued down. Now you may want to trim your lace just a little bit on some of the cards if you've just got like a little bit hanging over that you don't want to be there. You can trim that little bit off so you've got a nice neat edge. Now the Kindy Glitz. We're going to put the Kindy Glitz around the edge of the card. Now I did this the hard way. I wondered why I was having so much trouble with this after I did it. The easiest way to do this is to put it down on the table and do it. I did the inside so much easier because I did this, and I didn't have to balance my hands so much. So pop your card down on the table to do this Kindy Glitz, and then run the nib resting alongside the edge of the paper. Do this for all of the cards. The next step is to put Kindy Glitz onto the Merry Christmas wooden sentiment. Again, probably best to rest your card on the table for this. I was sort of trying to bring it up closer to the camera when I did it, but if you've got it flat on the table, you don't have to balance it. You can just rest your hand on the table and do it, and I think that'll be a lot easier. This is not hard though, just tracing over the letters with the Kindy Glitz is quite easy to do. And then there's the little piece of holly at the end that needs to be traced as well. There we go, that's beautiful, and you need to do that for all of the cards. I then like to leave mine to dry overnight, or a significant amount of time, because you don't want to be touching that glitter and wrecking it while it's still drying, and it does take a decent amount of time to dry. Once your cards are dry, you may find that they've curved just a little bit with the Kindy Glitz. If that's the case, just really gently, just bend them back into a beautiful flat shape, because this is paper and it can bend. Okay, so just give it a soft little bend if you found that the Kindy Glitz has just made the papers curl up just a little bit. But those cards are looking really beautiful, and the Kindy Glitz just adds a little bit of extra sparkle to the cards. The Kindy Glitz comes in the kit. So we're going to have a look at decorating the envelopes now. We've still got plenty of pages left from our 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper set. To decorate the inside of the envelope, you just need to trace the envelope onto the paper with a pencil. So choose the paper that you are going to want to use. I like to line it up with the corner there. I trace around the top and down to that bottom corner. Then I get my paper trimmer. I'm just going to trim off that strip first. I'm going to trim down where the pencil line ended. So it's a bit hard to see, but it's right there. I'll just measure as to what that measurement is. So the measurement is 5 7/8 inches. So we're going to cut down at 5 7/8 inches. Then you take your scissors and you just trim along your pencil line. And then you'll see there's your envelope liner. It's quite tricky to get it exactly symmetrical on both sides. If you want to, you can just trim it a little bit if you feel like you are just a little bit off. That looks pretty good. Then I just fold it in half and crease the line there. And then all I do is just trim around that again. So this is going to make 2 envelope liners from the same piece. And then I just cut on the fold. So just cut that down the middle there. And there's our 2 envelope liners. So they'll just slide in there and we'll glue those in. And that just adds a beautiful decoration to the envelope. It looks really pretty, especially with that beautiful paper. So just get some glue on the back of that. And we'll just insert that in. And just make sure you've got it as straight and equal as you can possibly get it. And that's that envelope liner finished. So just trim that again to 5 7/8 inches. And then we just use one of the other liners as a template. It looks quite symmetrical. That looks okay. So then we're going to trim around that. Cut that off. Trim around it again. And there's our second one. So from one sheet of 12 by 12 paper, you will have enough for 4 envelope liners. So we'll just repeat that again. We're choosing a different piece of paper, cutting at 5 7/8, cutting at 5 7/8, and another page as well, cutting at 5 7/8. Right, and then we just trim around our template, cut that off. It's just the most beautiful paper. This paper is just gorgeous. So this will add a really nice touch to your envelopes. Make them a little bit more special. Okay, cut a few more. There we go. There we go. Is that enough? I think that's 10. So now we're just going to glue all of those onto the inside of our envelopes. They look so pretty, don't they? It's amazing how it can transform a white envelope. And then we're just going to repeat that gluing process for all of our 10 envelopes until they're all completed. Again, you can choose whatever side of the paper you want to use. It's up to you with that. It's a hard decision. Okay, that's our last one. So they're all looking gorgeous. Now we need to fold them, okay? We've got to train these envelopes how to fold because that paper hasn't been folded before. So you do need to go through with your bone folder and just smooth down that fold on each of the envelopes so that it has a nice neat fold. There we go, all done. Now this page here, I've already pre-cut. That's the back of the front cover, and it has lots of lovely pictures that we can use to decorate both the inside of our cards and the front of our envelopes. So I'm going to cut my trees in half so that I can use them on more than one card, and I'll have it sort of pressed to the side. Now what else can I use? Maybe a little nutcracker, a little bit of greenery, poinsettia flower. I cut that in half. And another poinsettia. Cut that one in half. Because we want to have room to write our message, I'm just doing a small decoration in the corner of the card, just to decorate it a little bit, but there'll still be space on the card to write a message. That's the sort of plan that I'm going with here. So by cutting the poinsettias in half, they're not taking up too much space on the part where you're going to do your message. And then I'm just layering these little pictures on top of each other. I'm thinking I might add some kindy glitz. See how I've got it on the table here? This is the way to do it. It's so much easier to rest it down on the table and do it. Put that aside to dry. So this one I've got a little poinsettia. I'll put that at the top. And I'll put these little suitcases underneath the poinsettia. Maybe I'll put this little star down here And then I'll just run my line of glue, glitter glue around the edge of that cardstock and leave that to dry. Okay, what are we going to do for this one? We've got a half a poinsettia. Could do a bauble, a present. It's easy to overthink this design. Try to not overthink it if you can and just keep it fairly simple. You can see I'm overthinking this one. I keep changing my mind. Oh, I don't know what to do here on this one. I just think that one's too hard. So I leave it. If you're having trouble with something, just leave it and come back to it if it's not working for you, you know. I had a bit more success with this one. There we go. That looks pretty. Add a bit of the Kinder Glitz. Okay, that's done. I'm going to leave that hard one till later. Let's keep that one simple, just with a little nutcracker doll and a poinsettia flower. Maybe a little bauble. The Christmas tree. Pop that on the side. Add a little present. Add some gold Kinder Glitz. Beautiful. And then we've got a Christmas tree on the inside for this one. Just keep it simple with the Christmas tree and the little love heart. And some Kinder Glitz. There we go, pretty. This is the bigger Christmas tree, so I'll use a present for this one. Just adding a little bit more Kinder Glitz just around that outside area. And that really does make for a beautifully decorated inside of a card. Okay, nearly done. Another big Christmas tree on this side. Just trim that little bit off. And another present. Pop that there. Kinder Glitz around. Beautiful. I think we've got 2 cards to go now. Let's put the nutcracker here. Put this little tiny bit of green at the bottom. That looks good. Beautiful. And the last card, this is the one that had me double thinking myself, double guessing myself. Let's see if we can just add a lantern, a little hot chocolate, and a poinsettia. That'll do for that one. There we go. So that's all the inside of the cards done, and for the envelopes I'm just going to add a picture to the corner of the envelope at the front, because I've got all these little things left, so why not just use them up. I'm sticking all those on. Couple of baubles. Really used everything. Now I'm going to add a little picture onto the back of the envelopes. Those bows are cute, aren't they? I'm not gluing it down though. I only glue it at the top so that the envelope can be opened. Little robin, another little robin, a star, another star. Really used up everything. Another star, and a little bauble, and oh, I found this big bauble, that'll do. Oh, why not just add those little ones on, use them up. I never got to fussy cut that star out, so I don't think I'll bother using that one. So this is our envelopes now. They're all decorated beautifully. The inside done, and the little star or the little whatever picture on the front and on the back. Completely decorated envelopes for your Christmas cards. You've used up all your little bits and pieces from the Mintay pack. I think you've got maybe 1 or 2 pages left in your kit out of your scrapbooking kit. So you've nearly used up the whole packet of your papers, and you've made a set of 10 cards with fully decorated envelopes. So well done to you. What a wonderful achievement. Congratulations. So this is just a photo of all of the inside of the cards, all completed and all dry. And that is the completion of our Christmas card project. We've made 10 Christmas cards using Mintay Time of Wonders collection. This is a kit available for sale over on my website at www.papercraftsecrets.com.au. You can purchase the kit and follow along with the tutorial. So thank you very much for watching. I would love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I hope that you have a lovely crafty day.